Alhamdulillah, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Your true success is not determined by what you do at work, but by who you become inside. Most people have this backwards. They pour everything into their jobs while neglecting their souls and their character. They work hard for a company, but they forget to work on their minds, their manners, and their connection with their Creator. I want to tell you something that changed my life when I finally understood it. Real success is not about working harder at your job. It is about working harder on yourself. When you grow as a person, everything around you grows too. I have watched thousands of people over the years. The ones who struggle are always chasing the next promotion, the next position, or the next paycheck. But the ones who thrive, they chase personal growth and spiritual refinement. They understand that their value in this world and the next is tied to their value as a person. Working harder on yourself than on your job is the difference between just making a living and making a life filled with blessings. It is the difference between just existing and truly living a life of purpose. It is the difference between settling for what comes and creating the future you pray for. Most people spend more time planning their weekend than planning their life. They invest more in their cars than in their minds. They watch hours of television but cannot find 10 minutes to read a beneficial book or reflect on the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then they wonder why life is not working out the way they hoped. I was once like that too. I was working harder at my job, thinking that was what mattered most. I was wrong. Everything changed when I realized that my provision would rarely exceed my personal development. That is when I started investing in myself. And that is what I want to talk with you about today. Success is not something you pursue like a hunter. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming a better person happens through deliberate self-improvement. It happens through working harder on yourself than you do on anything else. You might be thinking that sounds nice, but my job demands everything from me right now. I understand that feeling, but here is what I have learned. When you make yourself valuable, the world opens doors for you. When you solve your personal problems, you begin to solve your financial problems. When you develop yourself, you develop your future. Let me share with you what happened in my own life. When I was 25, I was broke, confused, and unhappy. I worked hard. That was not the problem. I showed up on time, did what was asked, and stayed late when needed. But I was focused entirely on my job while neglecting my heart and my mind. Then I met a wise teacher who asked me a question that changed everything. He asked me, "How much better do you think you will be doing 5 years from now?" I answered confidently. I said I would be doing much better. He then asked the question that woke me up. He asked, "Why would you be doing better?" I had no good answer. I was just hoping things would get better. I was relying on hope as a strategy. My teacher taught me that hope alone is not a strategy. Wishing things would change is not a plan. He told me that if I wanted things to change, I had to change. If I wanted things to get better, I had to get better. That hit me hard. For my life to improve, I had to improve. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Success was not going to come from working harder at my job. It would come from working harder on myself. So I started seeking knowledge. I started reading books. I started sitting with wise people. I changed my thinking, my words, and my attitudes. I worked on my character, my communication skills, and my time management. Within a few years, my life transformed. It was not because I found a better job or worked more hours. It was because I found a better me. I became more valuable to the world. The transformation in my income followed the transformation in myself. This is what I want you to understand. The path to success lies not in your job, but in yourself. When you grow, your blessings grow. When you change your life, you see that the world rewards value, and value comes from within us. The more valuable you become, the more you can earn and the more good you can do. It is that simple. Your results are directly connected to your value. Most people think if they had a better job, they would do better. That is backwards. If you were better, you would have a better job. If you had more skills, more knowledge, and better attitudes, you would attract better opportunities. Think about it this way. Why does one person earn so much while another earns so little? Is one working 10 times harder? No. The difference is in the value they bring. And that value comes from who they are. You might argue that you know plenty of hardworking people who are not successful. I agree. Hard work alone is not enough. The key is working hard on the right things. And the most important thing to work on is yourself. The world does not pay you for the hours you put in. It pays you for the value you bring in those hours. So the question is not, how can I work more hours? The question is, how can I bring more value in the hours I work? The answer to that question is personal development. It means becoming more skilled, more knowledgeable, more disciplined, and more wise. Those qualities do not come from working harder at your job. They come from working harder on yourself. So what are the skills that increase your worth? What should you be developing in yourself? First, focus on communication skills. Work on your ability to speak the truth with kindness. Work on your ability to connect with others. This might be the most valuable skill you can develop. Study it and practice it. I have seen people with average intelligence but excellent communication skills go very far. They outperform geniuses who could not explain their ideas. If you can communicate effectively, you can lead, teach, and influence others for good. Those abilities are priceless. Second, work on your people skills. Understanding human nature is vital. Building strong relationships and managing conflicts with patience is a skill. These skills make you valuable in any organization and in your community. Most people think technical skills are the most important, but technical skills without good character and people skills lead to limited success. People with outstanding character can always hire technical experts. But technical experts cannot simply hire character. Third, gain specialized knowledge in your field. Whatever you do, become an expert at it. Seek excellence, which we call ihsan. Read the books and take the courses. Do not stop at what everyone else knows. Go beyond that. Develop deep insights. Ask different questions. That is how you become irreplaceable. Fourth, develop problem-solving skills. Every improvement in history came from solving problems. Communities need solutions, not just busy work. The better you are at solving problems, the more valuable you become. Train yourself to see problems as opportunities to help. Develop a clear way to find solutions. Become known as the person who can figure things out when nobody else can. Fifth, work on your productivity skills. This is your ability to get things done and manage your time. In today's world, everyone is distracted. If you can maintain focus and produce results, you will stand out. These skills are worth a fortune, but they do not develop by accident. You must work on them deliberately. The good news is that all of these skills can be learned. You were not born knowing how to communicate perfectly. These are learned abilities. If you can learn them, you can increase your value. But here is the key. You must develop these skills consistently over time. Success does not come from occasional effort. It comes from small improvements day after day. It comes from consistency or istiqamah. Just like a small seed grows into a mighty tree, over time, personal growth turns an ordinary person into an extraordinary success. If you improve just a little bit each day, after a year, you will be completely different. That is the power of daily, consistent growth. We do not need dramatic leaps. We need steady progress in the right direction. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. They want instant results, but lasting success does not work that way. It is built day by day through constant self-improvement. Think about it. If you read just 10 pages of a beneficial book every day, that is thousands of pages a year. That is about 15 books. In 5 years, you would have read 75 books. How would your life be different if you had the knowledge from 75 books? If you spend just 30 minutes daily improving a key skill, how much better would you be? That is like taking a full-time training course every year. Small daily improvements lead to amazing long-term results. But you must be patient. You must trust the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must understand that today's efforts create tomorrow's rewards. Most people quit because they do not see immediate results. They work on themselves for a week or a month. They see little change and they give up. What they do not realize is that results take time to show up, but when they do, they often come all at once. This surprises everyone except those who understand consistency. So, how do you create a personal development plan that actually works? Let me share what I found effective. First, admit where you are now. Be honest about your strengths and weaknesses. What skills do you already have? What areas need improvement? Where are the gaps between where you are and where you want to be? Second, set clear goals for your growth. What specifically do you want to learn? What kind of person do you want to become? Make these goals specific. Do not just say you want to be a better speaker. Say you want to be able to give a presentation without fear. Third, create a plan with specific actions. Read books, find a mentor, or practice specific skills. The more specific your plan, the better. Do not just say you will read more. Say you will read 20 pages every morning after prayer. Fourth, build accountability. Tell someone about your plan. Find a friend who is also committed to growth. Fifth, review your progress regularly. See what is working and what is not. Personal development evolves as you evolve. This structured approach separates the successful from the average. Anyone can work hard at a job. Few people work hard on themselves in a consistent way. Now, let me talk about one of the most powerful tools for growth: reading. I have often said that the answers to your questions are in a book somewhere. The first word revealed to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was read. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. It strengthens you. It expands your mind. It gives you new capabilities. The books you read today will shape the life you lead tomorrow. I am not talking about reading just for fun. I am talking about reading for growth. Read books that challenge you. Read books that teach you new skills. Read books that expand your thinking. Some people say they are not readers, but you can become one. The benefits are enormous. If you read just 30 minutes a day, you will be amazed. Even 15 minutes daily adds up. The key is consistency. Start with books relevant to your goals. If you want to improve your career, read about leadership. If you want to improve your finances, read about wealth building in a halal way. Don't just read the books. Apply what you learn. Take notes. Discuss the ideas with others. Teaching what you have learned is the best way to learn it. Another crucial aspect is the company you keep. Your friends shape you in deep ways. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Look around at your closest friends. Are they growing? Are they challenging themselves? Or are they complaining and making excuses? I am not suggesting you abandon old friends, but I am suggesting you be intentional. Seek out people who want to grow. Find those who inspire you. Find those who make you think bigger. Join groups focused on growth. Find mentors who are where you want to be. These associations will speed up your growth. I remember when I started spending time with successful people. Their thinking was different. Their words were different. Being around them changed me. It changed my standards and my beliefs. Now, let's talk about taking responsibility. This might be the most important shift you can make. As long as you blame others for your life, you give away your power. As long as you blame circumstances, you remain stuck. Taking responsibility means admitting that this is your life. You created your current situation through your choices, and you can create a different future through different choices. This isn't about blame, it is about power. When you take responsibility, you take back your power. I meet people who say they would be successful if their boss was better, or they would be fit if they had more time. These statements make you weak. They place control outside of yourself. Instead, ask better questions. Ask how you can become so valuable that any boss would appreciate you. Ask how you can manage your time to make health a priority. Taking responsibility is freedom. It means your future is determined by you and your choices. One area where this pays off is financial knowledge. Most people work hard for money but never learn how money works. They earn a paycheck but do not know how to manage it. Financial education is not taught in most schools. You have to seek it yourself. Learn about halal investing. Learn about assets and saving. Do not leave your financial future to chance. Educate yourself. The more you understand about money, the more you can do good with it. Ignorance is expensive. Knowledge pays rewards for life. Money is not everything, of course, but financial stress affects your health and your peace of mind. By developing financial wisdom, You remove that stress. You create freedom to pursue what truly matters. Speaking of what matters, let's talk about health. Your body is a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the vehicle you use to do good deeds. If that vehicle breaks down, nothing else matters much. Personal development must include physical health. Take care of your body. Manage your energy. I am not talking about being a super athlete. I am talking about basic health habits. Exercise regularly. Eat good, pure food. Get enough sleep. Manage your stress. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. Many people sacrifice health for wealth. Then they spend their wealth to fix their health. That is a poor strategy. Work on both at the same time. When you exercise, you have more energy for work. When you eat well, you think clearly. Your physical habits affect everything. Now, let's discuss time management. How you use your time determines your life. Time is so precious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by it in the Quran. We all have the same 24 hours. But some people accomplish so much more. The difference is choices. Most people spend their time reacting to things. They are busy all day but make little progress. Successful people are proactive. They decide what is important. They block out time for growth. They say no to distractions. Time is your most precious resource. You can lose money and make it back. You cannot get time back. Be intentional. Schedule your priorities. Make time for working on yourself. A great strategy is to wake up early. The quiet morning hours are full of blessings. Use that time to read, think, and pray. Establish a morning routine. Also, eliminate low-value activities. Stop doing things that do not help your goals. Be ruthless about this. Learn to say no. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else. Choose carefully. As we come to the end, I want to talk about legacy. This is the ultimate purpose of growth. It is not just about achieving more. It is about becoming more so you can give more. The best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. When you work on yourself, you increase what you have to offer. You increase your ability to make a difference. Think about the people who influenced you. They were likely people who invested in their own growth. They became more so they could give more. That is the reason to work harder on yourself. Your job is what you do. Your development is who you are. Who you are determines your impact. Your growth creates a ripple effect. You influence your family and your community. You set an example. You show what is possible. Personal development is not selfish. It is selfless. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot teach what you do not know. By growing yourself, you can help others grow. This brings us back to the start. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Becoming happens through self-improvement. The decisions you make today determine who you are tomorrow. So, I challenge you, decide today to work harder on yourself than on your job. Invest in your growth. Develop your skills and character. Start now. Do not wait for the perfect time. The timing will never be perfect. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is right now. Begin with one small step. Read 10 pages. Listen to something educational. Practice a skill. Take one action today. Then do it again tomorrow. Small actions lead to massive results. Most people underestimate what they can do in a year. Do not let that be you. Trust the process. Give your growth the time it deserves. I have met successful people all over the world. They all have one thing in common. They never stopped growing. They never stopped learning. Some started with nothing. But they knew that circumstances do not have to limit your growth. No matter where you are, you can grow. You can create a different future by creating a different you. You have untapped potential inside you. You have talents you have not discovered yet. It would be a tragedy to leave that potential locked away. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Watch as everything in your life transforms. This is my promise to you. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The best way to prepare is to work on yourself. Let me tell you about 2 employees I once knew. Both started at the same company on the same day. They had similar backgrounds and salaries. 5 years later, one was in the same position. The other had been promoted 3 times and earned much more. What was the difference? It was not that one worked harder at the job. Both did their work. The difference was that the second employee worked harder on himself. The first employee went home and wasted time. The second read books about leadership. The first complained about problems. The second learned how to solve problems. The first focused on what he could get. The second focused on what he could become. The company promoted the second employee because he became more valuable. He could do things the first one could not. That is how the world works. It rewards value, and value comes from personal growth. You might think about unfairness or politics. Yes, those things exist. But when you become valuable enough, you rise above them. If one door closes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens another. Working on yourself makes you valuable everywhere. Your skills travel with you. They open doors you cannot see yet. Many people feel stuck, but they are just hitting the ceiling of their current growth. It is not the job limiting them. It is their lack of growth. When you stop growing, you start declining. There is no standing still. You are either getting better or worse. Working on yourself keeps you moving forward. Remember that your growth affects every area of your life. The discipline you learn helps your worship. The communication skills improve your marriage. The wisdom you gain makes you a better parent. Personal development is the ultimate investment. It pays rewards in every part of your life. No other investment offers such great returns. So I am asking you now, what will you decide to do with this moment? Do not let this inspiration fade away like a fleeting dream. Make a firm intention right now in your heart to change your life. Promise yourself that you will start today, not tomorrow. Pick one book to read or one skill to practice and dedicate just 15 minutes to it before you sleep tonight. Raise your hands and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your efforts, to open the doors of understanding for you, and to grant you steadfastness on this journey. You have the potential to be extraordinary and to leave a legacy that lasts long after you are gone. The world is waiting for the best version of you to emerge. Go and work harder on yourself than you ever have before and become the person you were created to be.